Rob, if you don't mind pulling up the clip of Trump sitting down with, did you say Kristen
Welker, yeah.
Kristen
MSNBC.
Welker. What's
Meet
the other
Press.
girl's name from CNN? Kristen something?
Shayna Bash?
No, the other one that, okay, so anyways.
Caitlin Collins.
Caitlin Collins.
Oh, yeah.
So
She
Kristen
has no
Welker.
upper lip.
Kristen Welker's the one that
Vivek,
faced off on at the debate.
Yeah.
So they're sitting here. There's so many different clips and topics, but I thought it was a phenomenal 1 hour and 15-minute interview to watch. Rob, which clip is this one that you have? There's a couple of them I want to react to.
Talking about Joe Biden being the divider.
Right, go for it. Go ahead and play this clip.
To tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. Why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when
won't
you
ever
say the
concede.
country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president, I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me. He went after his political opponent violently because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they are going around stealing elections, why
When you
didn't
say
they do it
Democrats
this
have
time?
control
Watch his
now,
answer
Of
here.
the White House.
Yeah.
So
Watch.
why didn't they steal this
Perfect
election?
answer.
Since they have more power
Watch
now.
this.
because I think it was too big to rig.
Yes. Gangster. Yeah,
So you
silent.
She doesn't have
Too big
anything to
to rig.
say. Okay.
Ooh.
By the way, that was fantastic, right?
love it.
Now, while you're reacting to it, Vinny, I'll come to you. Rob, can you find a clip of him talking to her about immigration and border and Obama? If you don't have it, I'll send you the clip as well. But your thoughts on what he just said to her?
It's facts, and it's the proof is in the pudding. Okay, these people and these. I was on Piers yesterday, and I told these leftists, MSNBC, CNN, if they don't start changing their tunes right now, and they can't help themselves, they are going to be out of work. Okay, they're already getting pay cuts. It's like, and he shouldn't. Why should he concede? Why would you concede the 2020 election? It's been proven that they cheated. The FBI at Twitter and what all those mail-in ballots overnight. I think I'm so happy and it's so refreshing, Tom, that he is back and he has that same attitude. He hasn't missed a step.
Tom.
Oh, I agree. I don't think these are clips. I think these are rounds. And that round one there, she took a knockdown. The media is in coping mode. They are coping. So what are they doing? They are blaming the people that were inside Kamala's campaign. But they are explaining away what happened with the voters, and they are full of excuses. And what they are attempting to do is spin into a reality that fits with the coping mechanisms in their head. They're in denial. So the country is so, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You say, wait a minute. I'm not the president. He's the president. He divided it. So don't try to spin this on me. And so that's what I think. You're seeing them in coping mode. They don't know where to start, and they go off on these angles, and they stick their chin out, and they get hit.
And Tom, and we're talking about, what is this? Meet the press, okay? You want to talk about dividing the country? It's the mainstream media. Excuse me. That's why nobody trusts them. Like, do we not forget? They went for a whole week saying Trump was Hitler, okay? And then you want to talk about dividing the country? If you make one guy out to be literally Hitler, this is all BS, bro. They just can't help themselves. They're getting a paycheck. I don't even think she believes what the hell she's saying.
Kristen Welker keeps getting hit. I mean, Vivek knocked her down in the first round at the
RNC.
the RNC in Miami, and now Trump has knocked her down. This poor Kristen Welker is spending more time on her back than Kamala Harris. That's in the middle of coping season.
Well, I would tell you, I don't know how much time she's spending on her back, but what I would tell you is that I actually like this interview. Like, I wanted to watch this interview, and I think she was the right person to do it. I was actually very impressed with the way this interview turned out. Where I was interested to watch, I watched the whole interview. Rob, can you play the clip, and then I'm going to come to you. Play this thing. Is this the one about what are you going to do when you send him home? Zero separation policy, that exchange. Is this the one?
Correct.
Perfect. This is the one, folks, you have to watch. Because the way he turned it on her, she had to pause for 2 seconds because she had nothing to say. Watch this.
Let me ask you about some of your other promises on this topic. You've promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need two, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you.
This is not the clip, Rob.
Thanks for watching.
It's the other clip that, just play the clip I sent you if you have it. It's a TikTok clip. And it's phenomenal. Watch this.
Obama, you do know that.
Rewind it a little bit, Rob. There you go. Watch this, folks. I just love the way he answers this. Go ahead.
You also had it with Obama. You do know that.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
And you also know he built the jails for children.
He didn't have a zero tolerance policy.
But in 2014, he built the jails. You know that.
I want to ask you about the zero tolerance policy. I mean, he didn't have a systemic, we
don't have to separate a family. Excuse me, Kristen.
Watch this. This is
we
it.
don't have to separate families.
Listen.
We'll send the whole family very united back to the country.
They're united.
That way the family's not separated.
Look at his face.
So no more family seperations. You're not reviving the zero tolerance policy.
It depends on the family. The family may decide to say, I'd rather have Dad go, and we'll stay here.
Did you get it?
Yeah, Dad. We don't want Dad here.
Did you? I mean, the
That's
brilliance
brilliant.
of Adam. Thoughts?
So a couple of things we just discussed: birthright citizenship, country being divided, and the 2020 election. So let me just start with the basic one. Listen, guys, Trump lost the 2020 election. Period. Full stop.
No, he didn't.
Okay, well, Joe Biden's the president, so
doesn't mean
I don't know what fantasy land you're living in. However, there were some irregularities. We all know what happened with the Twitter files. We all know what happened with the New York Post. We all know what happened with Hunter Biden laptop. But don't get it twisted. They presented 60 court cases. The majority of them were dismissed. I know you're going to cite the one thing that maybe Joe Biden's the president, but we're looking forward, not backward. If you want to just try to revisit and re-engage in the 2020 election, have at it, Hoss. But here's the deal. The country has been divided. It started, I would say, early 2000s with Clinton, Newt Gingrich, everything happened with there. And it's been descending since George W. Bush. Obama was definitely a divider. When Trump showed up in 2015, 2016, not exactly a synergist, but I think he has a very unique opportunity to actually bring the country together right now. As far as birthright citizenship, he is right. I think we're the only country in the world where as long as you don't even have to be a citizen. You could cross the border, drop an anchor baby, boom, the baby's now a citizen. There's a viral clip he talked about, you have to have at least one parent who's a citizen. You can't just show up and have a baby and then boom, the whole family's there. So there's a lot of valid points here. And I think, bottom line, he does have a unique opportunity to reinvent his legacy.
Play the clip because he said Trump did lose the 2020 election. When she brought this up to him to say, will you concede the 2020 election? This was his answer that he gave to her. She specifically wanted him to say, now that you won, can you please come out and say you concede? That's what he said.
This is your first interview since you won the election.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I hope
congratulations
you do well.
to you.
I hope you do well with it.
Yes, and sir, I don't have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided. And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. Why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided,
we saw this one.
I'm not the president.
Concede.
Yeah, concede. Yeah, he won't.
He won't concede.
He won't. But here's the thing, Adam. No. Hold on. Going to your point, she's bringing it up. He's past it, but he's not talking about it. But Adam, if we don't admit and come to terms of what they did, like we all know, you know this yourself. If you want to call it election interference, it's cheating. They cheated. Their guy won. The mail-in ballot situation with the harvesting, it worked. Hey, hats off to them. He'll never do it. And we, as his supporters, I'm not going to sit there and go, yeah, let bygones be bygones. Because what if next time, Adam, it's not too big to rig? And they do the same shit again. And then another virus, which Peter Hotez is saying, he's predicting viruses out of his ass. Oh, January 21st, the day after Trump is coming in, there's going to be another one. So no, we have to figure out what happened.
The magic flip the switch virus.
Yeah, switch. Yeah.
January 21st.
And then, right, don't we have to keep them, be honest, Adam, we have to hold them accountable. If they did what they did, okay, like all the people, all the FBI, whoever told them to go to Twitter and stop all the stories, all those guys, all those 51 secret, what were those agents, Rob? That's not intelligence community. 51, I want all of them to be held accountable, because if we don't have everybody accountable now, they're going to do it again. They're Democrats.
You know,
they're
the
leftists.
2020 election. The 2020 election has got this COVID.
No, I'm not,
angle.
Adam. I'm being truthful.
I don't think you're being dramatic.
How am I being dramatic? Accountability is dramatic.
So every Democrat cheats, is what you're saying?
No, they've been proving that they did cheat. I want the ones that cheated to be held accountable.
When you say prove it, we can investigate it.
Voted for Trump, excited for Trump.
I love it.
Want to see Trump 2025, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But this whole nonsense of, it's proven. Yeah, you're 0 for 60, buddy.
What do you mean?
60 lawsuits they presented in court. So
the same justice system that's been effing them over?
I think revisiting 2020, and Kristen Welker brought it up. That's
she did.
Revisiting this nonsense that he won is not helping unify the country at all. I'm excited for 2025 and the future of America, not going back to the 2020 election. What does that do for anybody?
Adam, accountability.
I actually disagree with one part of your argument.
Go ahead.
The part of our argument I disagree with, it sounds a little COVID-like. Where suddenly, let's turn the page. Really? We're not going to turn the page and forget what Fauci did. We're not going to turn the page in these things. We go back and look at it and learn from the past and prosecute where we should to make a safer, more fair situation.
Bullshit. It's not what Fauci did. It's what China did. Now, Fauci should be held accountable.
No.
But let's not lose sight of who actually caused the virus and caused the leak.
I have no idea.
It wasn't Tony Fauci.
What is that technique for? Let me finish. So
I'm not criticizing you. I'm criticizing the fact that it was China. And if we're going to hold somebody accountable, not 85-year-old, 60th man in the world, Tony Fauci.
For the sake of time, I'm not.
She and Fauci.
For the sake of time, I'm going to compress my preambles, unlike you, and I'm going to get to the point. So what I was talking about is there's a COVID-like feeling about the 2020 election where now we're willing to talk about certain irregularities, and we're willing to talk about voting machines, and we're willing to talk about mail-in ballots, and we're willing to talk about things, and we've gone through investigation and said, you know what? There are some things here, and if we want safe, secure elections, then let's learn from 2020. The suits are the suits, but let's learn how we can keep a tight election going forward to bring the faith of the American people and trust in the electoral process.
Tom.
And there's a certain thing that's happening now that everybody wants to forget every single solitary thing about 2020 when there's things that we can learn going forward, just there's things we can learn going forward about COVID. That's my point. I'll leave you guys to discuss the totality of it and go back to your argument, but that's my point.
One simple question for you. I agree with you on accountability, COVID. I fully agree. When you sort of just interweaved, the suits are the suits. 60 lawsuits. They're 0 for 60. At what point are we going to say, all right, they tried to appeal the 2020 election and they lost. So why are we defending the fact that he lost? How is that helping
Adam,
anybody?
But you're talking about the
I'm asking him.
No. I'm talking
when
about.
You said the suits are the suits. What do you mean?
When did the suits stop, and what have we learned since about insecure machines? Dominion machines, some of them are insecure. We did have a Secretary of State that broadcast passwords that are the admin codes to get into them. That's a fact. All of those things happen close in, and Laura Trump did a spectacular job deploying attorneys and people ready to be there, standing in the gap for freedom.
In 2024.
Because she knew what they did in 2020.
Because of 2020. So you can say the suits are suits, but that's like going back and to say, hey, I'm sorry, all of you guys under Jim Crow laws, you're 0 for 500 on suits. It's a new day.
We'll check this out.
Both can be very true.
FYI, here's the thing. The great thing about this is the following. Here's what I want, okay? I want to find a way where I can trust elections 100%. I don't know if Americans trust elections 100% right now. I don't know if they do, okay? And for you to have to double down on amount of lawyers that you need, shout out to Laura and their organization for being proactive about it. By the way, you make a good point. 0 to 60, there's a part of what Adam is saying, which is kind of like, you won, let's move on. I love the fact that he said, no, I'm not going to concede. Why would he concede? He made his position. He's telling his position. FYI, we're going to see who's going to show up to his inauguration. Is Obama going to show up to the inauguration? Probably. Will, Biden show up? Will Kamala show up? Will Clinton show up? Will all those guys? I'm sure Bill is going to show up because Ivanka's going to be there. He wants to. Somebody, we're going to see who's going to show up to this thing when that takes place.
I think it would be
a part of it, to say there was none of it in 2020. For me, there's two words that we have to qualify nowadays, especially when we're talking on the podcast. The podcast millions of people are following it. We can't wing it and just say stuff. There is interference. There is fraud. Those are two different things. Election interference is what? What Twitter did back before it was X. That was interference. What Zuckerberg did, that's interference. What YouTube did, that's interference. What those organizations did, 100%, that's interference. Election fraud is, ballot dumping, all that stuff that you're doing. Those are two different things that you have to do. There is zero argument that election interference didn't happen. Zero. Zuckerberg, who gave $400 million himself, wrote a letter knowing the risk he had, calling out the Biden-Harris administration, that he gave $400 million to, and said, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I made a mistake. So 100% there was election interference. Even when Elon bought it, we learned about it with Barry Weiss and what do you call it? Michael Schlem, Matt Taibbi, all these guys.
Yeah.
So interference, yes, but qualify and isolate the two. This one still has to be fully investigated.
Yeah.
And I trust Kash Patel, some of these guys that are going to be in there, they have plenty of time to go and find out what's going to be taking place. And guess who wants to know? A guy like me wants to know. That's it. I just want us to trust that who I vote for is going to be scored away. We have plenty of technology to do it the right way. Let's go ahead and make that progress.
So saying interference, and I get the difference. Interference, to me, I don't know about you, is still cheating, meaning you weren't letting the person that needed to hear the information hear it. That's like you, Adam, we're playing football. It's you against us. And you've tapped into my headset to where I can't communicate with my quarterback. You're interfering. You're cheating in the game. So call it whatever they want. You still cheated and their guy won. Cheating is cheating. They like I think the word interference is a cool word that they figured out to get us away from the fact that you helped the other guy win by silencing us, by silencing the truth.
Yeah, but those are two different things, Vinny.
But it's cheating.
Let me know. 100% it is. No. 100% it is. I'm not saying that's not. All I'm saying is I want to trust that if I drop this vote, you can't flip. You can. So to me, it's technology, ballots, IDs, how many states they don't want IDs. That is true fraud.
Yes.
We got to address those things.
Yep.
Why don't we have 50 states asking for IDs? That's ridiculous to me that this is taking place. But on this side, there's no question about it that took place. We are in that season. Month of November was incredible for us with the amount of people that are wanting to sport the Future Looks Bright gear. I want to give a shout out to all of you guys. We had more purchases made in the month of November for Future Looks Bright gear than the last 2 years combined. I want you to say that again. Let me say that one more time.
Amazing.
More. This brand is getting out there and people want to represent it. When you go out there, I went to a tournament this weekend. You go places, people pulling up, Future Looks Bright. So weather's a little bit cold, here's what we got. By the way, the material of these sweaters, I dare you to order one and return it. I dare you. Order it, put it on, see what it feels like. The gold Valuetainment, where you walk around the mall or school, anywhere, gym, people look at you and say, hey, me too, man, I'm a Valuetainer as well. And on the back, it's got a Future Looks Bright, gold written. It's incredible, the material with it. Then we have, for those of you guys that are going out there to the gym, working out, you want to represent USA, you're a proud American. We got this workout gear USA with the back, Future Looks Bright, with the American flag. Look how sick that is, by the way. Right? That's out there as well, Rob, if you can pull that up.
Embroidered, man. That's really quality.
And these sweaters, again, these sweaters that just came in, that just dropped. These logos at the back and the Future Looks Bright and more stuff with the pants that go with it or the what do you call it, the polos that we have. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. First 100, again, get the Future Looks Bright mugs that we have as well. But these sweaters are incredible quality material, priced very well. Get yourself one of these. There's many different options to choose from, and every one of them on the back of it says Future Looks Bright. We're very optimistic. I saw, again, Elon Musk tweeted saying Future Looks Bright. Everybody now is going out there saying Future Looks Bright. These next 4 years are going to be special next 4 years. I hope you got a specific plan for what you're going to be doing.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.